Are you feeling overwhelmed with trying to keep your business afloat while juggling summer schedules, kids at home, vacations, and maybe even just wanting to enjoy the sunshine? Good news, you can enjoy and grow your business this summer without hustling 24/7. And P.S., this is the second of 4 episodes where I'm showing you exactly how to do that and how to prep for summer. So the goal is we want you to actually be able to enjoy it. And if things feel challenging right now, go back and listen to last week's episode and then come back and listen to this one because I'm breaking down how to create a simple, sustainable plan when you only have 10 hours a week or less. Yes, you can totally do it. So inside this episode, I'm teaching you the mindset shift that you need to make to thrive this summer, how to prioritize your time into 3 simple categories. We're talking about nurturing, selling, and seeding for the future, and a real example of a 10-hour-a-week summer workflow. So this is why having a flexible summer revenue roadmap changes everything. And if you need help coming up with your custom summer plan, you can go to hollymarieHaynes.com/summer, and you'll walk away with your full summer revenue roadmap and profit planning template to use all year long. I hope you love this episode and can't wait to see you in our summer workshop. Welcome back to the Crush the Rest podcast. And today's episode is a super juicy one because we're talking about something that's very real life. And that is how to keep your business growing when you only have just a few hours a week this summer. And I'm talking like 8 to 10. I'm not talking about a ton. So maybe you have kids at home, travel plans, you want to just take some time off, you want to have more fun. That's our theme for 2025. Or if you're like me and you live in Ohio, you just want to soak up every bit of sunshine without feeling chained to your laptop. You can see my summer strategy coming through loud and clear here. So here's your reminder that you could have a thriving business this summer without sacrificing your sanity, your memories, or even your mental health. And if you want more support on this, don't forget that I am hosting a live workshop on May 22nd called Design Your Summer Success. We're going to map out your entire summer revenue roadmaps together. So you're just going to go to hollymarieHaynes.com/summer. And let's make this your most simplest and profitable summer yet. Okay, so let's get back into this episode. So first things first, this is a whole series that we're doing all month long on how to have a profitable summer and still have fun. So make sure you go back and listen to last week's episode. But part 1 of how do I actually grow my business when I have limited time is shifting your mindset. And you should not be surprised. This is usually step 1 in any formula. But you might be thinking, oh my gosh, 10 hours, that's nothing. I'm going to fall behind. Like the economy, all the things that are happening, I can't do this. But that is not true because I am such a huge fan of small, focused effort. It's so much greater than frantic, exhausted hustle every single time. Every single time. You are probably wasting time now if you are working more than that. So if you have 10 hours a week, this summer, the goal is not to do everything. The goal is to do the right things, the things that are going to move the needle and the things that are going to make the greatest difference long term. So we're going back to our plant analogy. You can see if you're watching the videos, I love flowers, and we talked a lot about flowers in the last episode, but I want you to think about it like watering the plant. If you are in the Midwest right now, you are planting your seeds, right? Like we're watering them. There's not a lot there, but eventually in July and August, it's going to be gorgeous. And so think about watering a plant. You don't have to drown it every single day to make it grow. You just have to consistently show up. Think about how long it takes you to water, let's just say 1 plant, right? Like 30 seconds. And so this is the consistency formula that I want you to think about. You just have to consistently show up. Give your business the essentials and trust the process. This is the business model. So that's part 1 is let's just think about it as watering the plants. We're going to make sure that our business has the nutrients it needs to survive. And then we're going to keep going. We're going to go to the pool. We're going to take a vacation and it's going to be fun and also profitable. The next step is we're going to nurture our audience. And I actually think that this should take up 3 to 4 hours a week. Relationships are the heartbeat of your business. And so if you're doing the math here, this is like 50% of the formula. So this summer, your number one goal is to stay top of mind with people who already know and love you, right? Send a weekly email. If you are not, you should do it. But here's what I want you to do to make it super personal. Make it personal. So I don't know if you have listened. I think it was 2 years ago at this time, I did a podcast episode. It's on our podcast page, hollymariehaines.com/podcast. And it talks about how we changed our email strategy to double our revenue. And the main thing that we did was started a personal email. And I had such a proud moment this week because somebody that I follow, she's been on our podcast, she's a really big name, stopped sending out her like plug and play emails and started sending out personal emails. And I was like, heck yes, because it works. Personality works. So if you're copying, pasting someone else's email, or as an example, if you have a podcast or you have a webinar, you have something and it's just like bullet points, it's not going to work. It has to be personal. People want to know that you're watching Ransom Canyon on Netflix. P.S. It's good, but it's not good. And then you just get sucked in. People want to know, like I was talking about how we were buying sparkle dresses for my girls in Irish dance. We just talked about Hungry Root. I posted about Hungry Root on my stories, which is what I did this season when we were launching to sort of make meal planning easier. And I got more feedback about that than I did our actual launch. So send an email each week, but gosh, make it so personal, like please, and then come back to me and tell me how it worked. And one thing that you can do when you think about writing these personal emails is, one, you can use our AI crew, which is inside the Crush the Rush Club. They will actually write the emails for you. But you can use prompts like, here's what I'm loving lately, or here's a quick tip to make your life easier. Like you want to provide value, of course, but make it personal. The other thing that you could do is what we're doing right now. Think of a series that is going to be really helpful for your audience and do it on repeat, same day, every week for a limited period of time. Maybe it's a quick private podcast. Maybe it's a blog post. Maybe it's an email series, but you're sharing behind the scenes of a season that is taking place right now. And then another fun thing that you can do is share behind the scenes, right? Hop on stories, send your emails, go to a coffee chat, but share what you're working on that's not business, a peek at your life. Answer questions so that you're staying visible everywhere without being everywhere all the time. So that should take up a decent amount of time. If you need help with this, just go to hollymariehaines.com/social. You can download our updated private podcast and new resources on how to build a client attraction plan, but this should be about 50% of your schedule. The other thing that you want to do, and this is like 2 to 3 hours a week, is sell what's already working. This is a season where I did say last week to be creative, but be creative in a way where you're not starting from scratch. So maybe you have an offer, it's like a best-selling course or service, and you're doing a summer special with like a mini version or a VIP day or extended payment plans. Again, that creative piece. Maybe it's a flash sale. Flash sales are my favorite in July. It's such an easy way for a cash injection. And this is something that we're going to talk about in the summer strategy workshop. And maybe it's giving your warmest audience, so like your email list or your Instagram story followers, first dibs first. So you don't need a giant launch. And you could also do something really cool where you're putting together a toolkit. Maybe you're putting together a bundle and you just need to make it easy. The biggest piece of advice here is we don't want to go through 17 steps to get the easy answer. We want it to be like, yes, I need this, click, done. We want to make it so easy. So get creative, but the goal here is to sell what has already worked. And then last but not least, and this is just maybe an hour to a week, is plant seeds for the fall. So your future will be so thankful that you did this and didn't completely ghost your audience this summer. I always use the Old Navy example, but they're in my inbox every day and I'm okay with it. We're good friends and it's fine. So don't ghost your audience. Stay present. So you could start a wait list for a fall program. You could run a freebie or a lead magnet in June or July to build your email list while you're traveling or at the pool. And you could just share little teeny sneak peeks of projects that you're working on that are coming up later, like big things brewing in September. Get ready. So you're not just selling now, you're building momentum for later. So because I love a good checklist, this is a sample 10-hour-ish summer schedule. So if you're a planner like me, you're going to love this. But here's what a 8 to 10 hour work week would look like. So Monday, I would write and schedule your emails. Again, you can change the days up however makes sense. On Tuesday, I would prep a quick post or do a little behind the scenes on Instagram stories. You can batch record them. So if you don't want to be on social, you have them ready to go. I do this a ton. On Wednesday, we're focusing on selling. So you're going to do some follow-ups. You're going to share a client win. You're going to go behind the scenes and check in with your clients. Thursday, you could update your website. You could create an offer page, update a lead magnet, whatever that looks like, and then maybe do a little more batch recording or creating. And then Friday, you're going to map out your next week's bare minimum plan and then do your CEO check-in, right? So that's it. And I know I went through that really fast, but if you look at what that looks like, Monday is, again, writing emails. That's about 2 hours. Tuesday is sort of batch recording and preparing your content. That's an hour. Again, you're using our AI toolkit if you're in the club, so it's going to make it so fast. Wednesday, you're selling. You're following up with clients. That's about 2 hours. Thursday, we're doing things behind the scenes. We're updating our lead page. We're updating our website. We're creating a new lead magnet and potentially batching some other content. So that's another 2 to 3 hours. And then Friday is your CEO day where you're really thinking about, okay, what's next week's bare minimum summer plan? And what is my CEO check-in? What does that look like? That's 2 hours. So this is very consistent. It's very condensed. It's strategic without the chaos, right? We're going to be teaching this whole schedule in our summer workshop. So make sure to grab it at hollymaryhaynes.com/summer. But here's the thing, having a plan in the summer changes everything. And I know right now that May is, I call it Maycember. It's nuts. It is crazy in our house. And the summer is going to do the same thing. It's going to throw you curveballs. There's going to be late nights. There's going to be surprise trips. There's going to be unexpected sick days and days where you don't want to do anything and you just want to read that beach book. And that's okay because you should. So we're going to keep it simple and flexible and really focus on the bare minimum. So when life gets busy, you can stay in control. You're keeping your audience warm and engaged, and the revenue is going to keep flowing. So I hope that you will join us on May 22nd, where we're going to build the summer revenue roadmap together. Again, we're going to create some bare minimum and stretch goals. We're going to focus on 1 to 2 offers that you can create. And then I'm going to give you the weekly systems that you can stick to and the visibility ideas that don't drain you. And as a bonus, you're going to walk away with my full profit planning template that you can use all year long. So if you're ready to make summer feel lighter, simpler, and still profitable, head to hollymaryhaynes.com/summer. And your homework this episode is to think about one thing that's going to simplify this summer. To choose one offer that you want to focus on selling and think about one seed that you want to plant for fall. That's going to help you. It's going to keep it fun and it's going to keep it light. And I hope you're excited about this summer season because summer is where we're going to grow and rest. And then the second half of the year is just going to be fire, but in the best way.